Arbitrage 4 is equity deals. This is an infinite arbitrage because you are basically not investing anything in a company, and you're going to add value. You're going to add value through your efforts. So typically there's three major things you're going to do to earn into this equity. You might be an advisor, and in most smaller companies you're going to get 1 to 5%. In the last 30 days I have gotten 1%, 3%, and 5% of companies to be an advisor. They are all $10 million plus companies. It's really fun to get parts of those companies for free, just to kind of help them out doing what you love. You guys are going to have a lot of valuable information in addition to what you already know. Once we get done with this, you can do the same thing. You can also assist them with growth. So if you happen to want to take some of the growth strategies that we talk about tomorrow, or other things you already know how to do, and say, I'll help you grow, and for that I want 10 to 50% of the company. They will give you more than that, but I've found in our experience that the expectations are dramatically higher once you get over 50. So I like to not take more than 50, even if they offer it. And then also, all day tomorrow, and you're learning a lot about it today on the buy side, but all day tomorrow we talk about exit. If you help a company exit, 5% is the going rate. Last week, I got a $50 million exit company paying me 10%. Okay? They're like, we want you to do it, you know what you're doing. Okay? And those are fun. So that's $5 million when it sells. Let's say it only sells for 30. I only get 3 million. I want to point this out, and I've said this like ever since I was young. Every 3 million helps. Okay. Now, the way that you are going to want to get paid is, do you want to take that as stock? No. Why not? Taxes, right? If you get offered 5% of a $10 million company, you're going to pay taxes on $500,000 when that stock or equity interest is signed over to you. So the way that you get it without paying the taxes is, and talk to your tax attorney to know exactly this, because I don't give legal advice and I'm probably not even here right now. Warrants and options. Who knows the difference between a warrant and an option?
Warrant is the one that got you in jail, and the option.
I like it. So a warrant and an option is basically the same thing. It's just that a warrant is issued by the company. So you can get an option to acquire, say, stock. If the company gives you that option, it's called a warrant. If you got it from one of the stockholders, it's called an option. Okay? But either way, they're basically options. So usually attorneys use warrants, and the rest of the world thinks, and investment bankers and the rest of the world thinks it's just options. The other way is phantom equity. So the reason is, and there are exceptions, including publicly traded options, but the idea is that if you don't yet have the money, you haven't realized the gain, so you don't have the stock in your hand yet. You only have the possibility of having the stock in your hand. So since it's still just a possibility, you're not going to have to pay the taxes yet. Whereas if they just gave it to you, you would have realized the value at that time and would have to pay the taxes. So the downside to just having an option or a warrant is, what if the company distributes $1 million and you own 10% of it? Do you get any of that? You don't, right? So phantom equity allows you to actually do that. So phantom equity is really just a contract that says, we're going to treat you as though you already have the stock. So if the company sells, we're going to give you your pro rata interest based on your options had they converted. And if the company issues a distribution, we're going to give you a pro rata distribution as if the options had been exercised. Okay? So that's kind of a way to have your cake after eating it. Now, getting paid. How do you get paid on these equity deals? I like to get a lump sum in advance or have some skin in the game, because if you're going to help people do something, no matter how helpful you know you're going to be and they know you're going to be, they will actually do things more often when you have them invest something to start with. So when I do these advisory deals, I do a half day for $18,000. It's 4 hours at my house, and I have them and their team come in, and we go through everything that is the plan, and then I say, okay, let's do this deal. Okay? Because so I've got them invested in listening to me and really thinking about it, because if they're going to spend 18 grand for a couple hours of time, they're really going to get their act together before they come. Instead of just showing up, and how do I know this? Because I used to not do it. And then they'd come in and be like, okay, let me see your financials. Oh yeah, I mean, we weren't able to get those. It's like, that's really frustrating. So get a lump sum up front, get them to pay any expenses that you've got, and then ideally you have a performance-based cash kicker so that when you do what you said you can do, or what they valued and caused them to enter into the deal with you in the first place, and you make it happen, then you get a bonus for making it happen. I also recommend that anytime that you are getting options or phantom equity or stock or other ownership in a company or something like an ownership, you get a put option. Does anybody know what a put option is? Go ahead.
A put option is the right but not the obligation to sell an asset for a certain price.
Right. You can force somebody to sell an asset. So if I give you stock in the company, and now I'm like, congratulations, you're a 10% owner, and I'm doing things that you don't want, or you decide you want out, then you can exercise your put option and you can put your stock to me, making me buy you out. That's what that is. So because you are in most of these situations a minority without any ability to get out, there's no liquidity because they're not public, there's not a public market for the stock, how do you actually turn what you earned into money? You agree on a predetermined value for that interest that you've got that you can exercise to get out in case you're in longer than you want to be in. Okay? Now,
Is that a static value? Is that a fixed value? Or
it's completely negotiable. And what you can sometimes do is say it's a minimum of X. It's the larger of X or Y, right? Yes, sir.
What's the term on these usually? A year, 2 years?
Yeah, on those it's usually 3 to 5.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Because you're thinking, like for me, they're 3 to 5 because my goal is to sell to PE, right? I want to sell to private equity. Okay. So sometimes they will also ask, can they have a call option, meaning can they buy you out as well? And reciprocal options, where it's a reciprocal put call, where you get a put from them and you give them a call option, is very, very common. Even in our deal with Clarion, we have a put call option, so they can buy us out after 5 years, or we can force them to buy us out. So that helps both sides be able to liquidate the other person out. But these are really, really cool deals. To get them, it's pretty easy. Just the best thing you can do is offer value without expectation of anything in return. This is my big philosophy in life. And the way that I do it is any time that I've got that isn't committed to a deal to somebody I'm already in business with, I give away. So why would anybody ever get into business with me? Because I don't have that much of that time, and it's sporadic. So I'll have people that they'll get a little frustrated sometimes, but I'll help them out. And then I've got a deal and I'm gone for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they're like, but I need to know. And I'm like, I told you I would help you as long as I had time. I don't have time right now, right? So that is a really good way to generate deals, because those people who then find that they would really like to have more of your time will actually do a deal with you. And it's a great way for you to get to see what other people are like, and also to give value, and then those people will refer other people to you. So it's just a really good general golden rule philosophy to have. Post and publish valuable content all around whatever skill it has, whatever skill you have that you want to offer to people. Use your own methods, or there's a value builder thing by, I think his name is Mike Werlo, that wrote Built to Sell. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. You can also offer half-day consults and then suggest an equity deal and follow-on items, which is exactly what I told you I do. It's $18K for half-day, and then we work on whatever deal after that. John Warlow. So John Warlow wrote a book called Built to Sell. It's a great book. Highly recommend that you read it. He also created a thing called the Value Builder System. And what it does is you take this test and you go through, and it takes, I think it takes like 12 minutes to go through. And it gives you this report at the end that shows you all of the things that you're missing out on to get the right value for your business, to get the most value for your business. And so he sells a certification thing and all kinds of other stuff, but you can just input the data in for a client yourself, have them email you the report, and then show it to them if you want, or you can sign up to be one of their consultants. But if you want like a system, I don't use it, but I think that it is valuable for people that would like to have a system. And it goes through this wheel of all these different modules and asks all these questions. And so it's very thorough, and I think it's really good. And at the end, it gives you a score, and it's at valuebuildersystem.com. 13-minute survey and get your score. And you just go through, and then it gives you the score and says, how good are you, right? And then they try to get you to connect with one of their consultants. But it's just a really good way to, like, if you wanted to do it and kind of try a couple of scenarios, run your business through it, it's a really good resource. And then number 5, and the last one, is industry multiples. So this is buy-side arbitrage on multiples. Different industries trade at different multiples. And so the goal is that you have a higher industry business that buys higher multiple industry business that buys a lower multiple industry business and integrates it and thereby gets the bump. So post-acquisition, both businesses are valued at the higher multiple valuation. So in your materials, you have revenue multiples by industries. This comes from the Stern School of Business at NYU. This is a revenue multiple for valuation across these different industries. And then you also have the Equidam EBITDA multiples industry report, which shows you across all these different industries what the multiple of EBITDA valuation is. So these are good to have as a guide so that you can kind of see where the multiples are in your business. And you might find that your business falls into several different areas potentially. Like you might be retail and you can be restaurant, dining, building supply distributors, etc. You could be insurance that you sell through retail. It could be machinery that you sell by retail. Maybe you sell drugs. There's a lot of money in it. I hear there's some downside. But there's usually several industries that you can be in. And so when we look at exit, we like to position towards the one that is the best. But when we're thinking about buying companies, we like to look at them too, because if we are in, like these are all, this is all fishing and farming, right? So fishing and farming starts here and goes all the way down to here. And I think, business support services starts here and goes all the way down to there. And if we look for the highest multiple here, there's a lot of them at 11.7, but there's also some at 7.37, right? So, and one at, there's several at 7.37. So if we're at the higher, we go out and buy several of those 7.37s, and then we convert them into our 11, then we're getting a 4x bump on the integration as long as our business is the dominant business once the merger's done. So it's a really kind of cool way to grab some extra income and grab a multiple.